Today we'll show you different areas to live in Venice.
And we're going to show you what they cost and why they cost what they cost, and we're getting started right now. So we should probably start with Venice Island because I think that's where a lot of people dream and think of living, but it is the highest price point because it's an island.
And you're closest to the water.
Yes, absolutely. So this first one is right in the downtown. Nokomis Avenue, you can see right there, is definitely or very close to the downtown because Nokomis Avenue goes right through the downtown. And it's listed at $499,000. That's actually not bad on the square footage side of things. 3.2, 2,578. So right off the bat, I'm gonna say it's maybe dated or something inside because that otherwise is a very good deal. And you should get a hold of us to put in an offer. We do help people.
That is prime location.
Buy or sell in the area. And you could walk to the downtown from there, which is awesome. And there's only one picture. So we're not gonna be able to tell you much about what the inside looks like.
But it doesn't have a garage.
Yes.
So that's one of the reasons why it's lower as well.
And it does look like an older home. Let's take a look at some more of the information on it. It is...
So it is a fixer-upper.
It says perfect location to build your dream home.
At $500,000.
So you're either going to be talking about doing some major renovations, but they're kind of implying like you might want to just tear it down. So now the price point maybe doesn't seem so amazing.
Yes.
But again, you are paying for location like a lot of real estate. So, you know, definitely something to consider. Okay, so here's another one. This one is a condo, which is believable now at that price point.
And I do think that's a great location for that price.
You can literally see the water. I mean, so they got some pictures here. So let's check those out quick just to kind of give you a sense. And this is one of the few areas in Venice that has a lot of condos with the Venice Island. There's a lot more there than the rest of the other parts of Venice.
And you can walk from your condo to the beach. Like this one, it's literally across from the beach.
Yeah, and if you don't like the beach, they got a pool for you, you know, so you get some amenities. It's not a super tall condo building like a lot of the other ones near the beach. So it looks, you know, got that kind of classic beachy Mediterranean vibe going on.
A little dated in the kitchen with the lights, spaceship.
Oh yeah, at the top there. I do like the cabinets though and the counter. So, I mean, realistically for this price point, not bad, but now we're talking a condo. So the one thing you got to incorporate in those costs would be that HOA. So let's take a look at that real quick. $725 a month. So you're adding that on top of your monthly mortgage bill. Now, keep in mind with your HOA that it's not you're just like giving them money. A lot of people don't like HOA because of that, and that's fair enough. But that payment does get you some things.
Like the HOAs, especially near the beach, are going to be a lot higher because they do have to insure the exterior of the building. So that's why it's so much higher than if you were to be a little more inland. So meaning that if there was, you know, a hurricane and something happened to the exterior of the building, the HOA is responsible for fixing that, and you would only be responsible for fixing anything that happened in the insides of your walls.
And this one also includes a bunch of other things as well. So as Haiti mentioned, the insurance, that's a big one right now especially. But on top of that, it actually includes your cable TV and then, you know, the pool, pest control, your sewer, your water is included so you don't have a water bill. So there are some extra perks that are included. And I think those are big things to consider. You know, obviously the insurance, you know, it's going to really depend on the location. But the one thing I would always look at is, well, is it covering my water bill and my cable TV? And if I'm going to be living there year round, then it's probably worth, you know,
what you're paying.
About $100, you know, if you're going to look after your water bill, you can maybe subtract that out of the HOA bill and to kind of figure what your costs are going to be for the month.
In this condo, it's a 1-bed, 2-bath, 855 square feet.
So definitely a little bit or a lot less than you were going to get like if you're off the island. So speaking of which, let's take a look at some things off the island now that you have a sense for what you can get there. South Venice was probably one of the more popular areas for people that don't want to deal with an HOA, so good for that. And yeah, more house for your money. Let's just do this one. $475,000.
That looks nice.
Piedmont. Actually, before we moved to Venice, we were looking at a place on Piedmont.
Yeah.
It's a 3.2, 17, almost 1,800 square feet. So, and at 475, I think it's a little less than the last one was too, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a big house, and it seems like it's got a pretty big lot as well, which is another thing you get in South Venice. You do get more space between houses, so bigger lots.
Yeah, and you can see that in the backyard. And a lot of the homes in South Venice are older-ish, if that's a word. You know, I'd say like you're looking at 70s, 80s, maybe 90s, a few from the 60s.
But some have been remodeled.
Yes. And it looks like this one's either been well taken care of or slightly remodeled. I really like the mural on the wall.
Yeah.
They definitely got the beach theme going on here. And sometimes these older homes, for me, I love, when they do the updates on them and just have that old character with some modern touches. I just think it's a nice combination and it looks really cool.
I agree. The kitchen's updated.
I love the backsplash and the blue wood on the side. That's gorgeous and unique. And I really like this house. We might put an offer on this one. So obviously you can see a little bit more house for your money in South Venice, more land. And on top of that, no HOA. But I think the other thing to consider is there are some differences as far as like, the water. You are going to be on well and septic. So you don't have a water bill, but there are going to be a little bit more minerals in the water. So you probably want to have like a water filtration or water softener system installed. And
also you're a little farther from the beach, a lot farther from Venice Beach, but you are closer to Minnesota Key Beach in Englewood. But, like that, those come with the price as well. You are farther from a beach, but you get more house for your money.
And one thing to note on the beach side of things is if you do live in South Venice, you have the opportunity that a lot of other people don't. You have to be a resident in South Venice. You can pay an optional HOA, and basically it gets you access to this private ferry that takes you to your own private beach. So that's a pretty cool perk, and it's like what, $100-200 a year, and that gets you access to like 6 people, I believe. So that's pretty cool perk, so I think that's a win if you do want to have your own special beach. Oh, we should also note, any of the things that we're talking about in the video, like South Venice versus Venice Gardens versus like, just because you don't live in that area doesn't mean you can't like quickly access this. It's like a 5 to 15 minute drive tops to most things in Venice.
Next one, let's see one in North Venice.
This is probably one of our most exciting, we're definitely starting to really like North Venice a lot. New areas.
Yeah, the reason is because you're really close to Sarasota. Like from the end where we live in, we have to get onto I-75. We're about 10 minutes. So just to get out of Venice. In North Venice, you're literally I-75. It's right there, so you can get on the highway right away and drive to Sarasota, which we love.
You can see it right here. It says North Venice. Here's the highway. So let's pick one maybe on the east end of the highway, a little bit further from the water, just to kind of give you a sense. Should we do Toscana Isles or one of these over here? Let's do new construction, huh? Yeah. And we should also note, I feel like North Venice is like Wellen Park, but very unlike Wellen Park.
Yes.
A lot of new construction communities, but less master planned, if that makes sense. But
yes, and they don't have a downtown. They do have the Sarasota Memorial Hospital. They're very, very close. So if, being close to a medical facility is a plus for you, then North Venice area, it's great for that.
And this one is actually from Vistera and My Homes. That sounds familiar. Didn't you just sell a home there? By the way, we do help people buy or sell homes in the area. So if you are looking to move,
make sure to call, text, or email our real estate team, 941-221-1897. And we also help with new construction. A lot of people think that you don't need an agent to help you with the new construction process, but you actually should use an agent.
Yeah, can get you a better deal, and we'll keep an eye on the building process. Also, one other thing worth noting, if you don't know this, if you just go to the builder and you go look at the place and then you say, get a hold of us after, we can't help you anymore once you've signed up and you're registered with them. So if you do want to use us, get a hold of us first, and then we'll help you check out the community that you're interested in. So $479,000. Look at the size of that. Yeah. Compared now even to South Venice, that last one was 1,700 square feet. This one's about 5K more. Obviously there's going to be some lot premiums and things as well, but a 3.2, 2,136 square feet.
And these homes are beautiful. The community, it's a brand new community. It's also beautiful. The amenity center is almost completed. It was scheduled to be completed in December, so they should be getting there soon.
And you do have an HOA. This is, again, why you want to get a hold of a realtor. So if you go to the listing here, the HOA says none, but it's about $300-ish a month. So, and that includes some amenities and things like that, like she's mentioning the amenity center. I think this is a very good example of, what you're looking at in North Venice. A lot of new construction, close to the highway. But I think the underrated thing, we'll go back to the map in a second. Let's take a look at the inside, and then we'll talk about that underrated thing, just so you guys can kind of see what it looks like. The underrated thing is you can get to beaches really, really close. So compared to Wellen Park, which is another area that's very popular with people right now, you're getting, new construction communities and that whole master plan thing, but you're not getting quite as quick of access to 75, and you're further from beaches than this North Venice area. You can get to Nokomis Beach in about 10 to 15 minutes. So I think that's a major victory over Wellen Park in that department. It just depends on, I guess, what you're looking for out of an area.
Yes. And when we say you're really close to the highway, we don't mean like the highway, it's like in your backyard
Yes.
by any means. You're very easy access. There's still a little bit of buffer between some of the homes and the highway. And usually, you know, just a quick 2 or 3 roads, and then you can get to the exit to the highway.
Yeah, and one other thing I wanted to mention in this North Venice area that are options as well is there's some newer communities going in. Taylor Morrison comes to mind. I forgot the name of the actual community, but they have townhomes there too as well. So if you want a little bit more of that kind of urban style lifestyle, there are some opportunities for that there as well. And it's kind of got a little bit, I don't know, the whole area's just got a different flavor and feel than a lot of Venice, I think.
Yes.
Next, I think a big one that we should definitely talk about is Venice Gardens. It's got some similarities to South Venice, I would say, but different. I don't know how to explain it.
It feels like in between a planned community and like South Venice, like you know, scatter per se lots, homes that were built on lots. And it is a lot closer to the island as well. So location, great for access to the beach.
Yeah, and we should also mention, I think with both South Venice and Venice Gardens, really close to a lot of big box store shopping amenities. So towards the end of the South Venice area, you've got the whole area with like your Target, your Walmart, there's a Publix, there's a Panda Express, a McDonald's, like all kinds of stuff, Bell's shopping. And then Jacaranda Plaza is like the new shopping center that's like right on the edge of Venice Gardens, but also not very far from if you're on like the northern end of South Venice.
Yes.
And they've got like Joint Chiropractic, they've got Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
They got a Marshall's, they got a Bell's as well.
But it's about the food mainly.
Yeah, there's like 4 different restaurants there. A Mexican restaurant, which is great.
Pineapple tequila, really, really good. Yes. And yeah, there's a whole bunch there shopping wise too.
And then across from that, there is
Ollie's.
Jacaranda Crossing.
Yeah.
Which Ollie's is there, which is a great, we've never been to an Ollie's before we moved to Venice. It's a great store for if you're like into bargain shopping.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend.
Yeah, really unique store, absolutely. And so take a look at a home. This one is on a little over a quarter acre, and the biggest one on the list so far, 2,267 square feet, 4 beds, 3 baths. But this is also a little bit higher price point, $495,000, but still well under that $500,000 mark. Well, not well under, I guess under the. And you can see there was a big price drop. Talking about that, you know, the market has softened a little bit lately. So there are some opportunities for deals, and we can definitely help you get the best deal. No HOA, that's another thing worth noting. Let's take a look at the pictures.
But they do have a voluntary HOA where you have access to a pool, a community pool. So if you don't have a pool in your home and you do want to have access to a pool, there's one right there in Venice Gardens.
Yes, and a playground there as well.
Yes.
And a big grassy area. So let's take a look at this. I like the style of this.
Outside.
Yeah, with the double French doors. It's cute. Got some upgraded flooring, it looks like.
Yeah.
Fireplace. I'm liking some touches in here. Looks like they got a separated dining room, which feels like that's kind of becoming a little bit more of a thing for some people now. It's like the open concept depends on the person now.
Yeah, or semi-enclosed dining area.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got some updates to it. I mean, again, with Venice Gardens, to give you some more context with Venice Gardens, similarly to age homes, I'd say overall to South Venice area, you're talking like 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. But definitely an established, quiet community.
And they do have sidewalks. Most of South Venice.
And a pool.
Yeah, most of South Venice does not have a sidewalk, and most of Venice Gardens does.
And one other thing we should note in Venice Gardens, we see a lot of golf carts in that area.
Yes.
I mean, we see them sometimes too in South Venice as well. But one other thing I think we should note too is that, like, all these areas are quiet, you know. So if you're like worried like there's gonna be a lot of hustle bustle, maybe if you're really near the downtown. And outside of that, I can't think of any of the other areas that I would consider hustle and bustly outside of the shopping center areas.
And that's perspective too, because for some people, it's not even in winter. Like I met with some buyers recently and they were like, oh, this is like your busy time of year. Like this is like nothing traffic wise. But we've also talked to people who like right now it's too busy for them. So it's just like depends what you're used to.
Yeah, if you're from like the country or small town, it might feel kind of crazy for you. Most of the community driving is going to be super light though. It's more like Tamiami Trail on the main roads where you might be in for a little culture shock or maybe just think, oh, this is nothing, depending on where you're coming from. So definitely something you should consider. Maybe we should check out something more towards the Wellen Park area. Now we want to say right now, we know Wellen Park is technically Northport, but it does have Venice addresses in a lot of the homes, but we know like utilities and all that is Northport. So we're not trying to say this is Venice. So you don't have to comment and let us know.
It's just Venice address.
Yes. But Also very close to Venice. And I guess that's one of the other things we should mention with Venice is you have access now to Wellen Park's downtown, which is really a close drive. You know, again, you're talking about maybe a 20-25 minute drive depending on where you're coming from, but their downtown is gorgeous and really, really fun. So this one's a 3-2, and there is new construction opportunities. It looks like this is a resale home, but there's a lot of new construction in Wellen Park as well. 3-2, 2,200. So one of the larger ones at 475, not bad.
But you are farther away from the beach, so that's why it's a little lower. Even in Wellen Park, the prices there are pretty high compared to what we're seeing here right now.
And this one's in Antigua, which is definitely one of the newish communities, you know.
But you don't have amenities. That's the only thing. The lower price homes, typically you do have the HOA, but you don't have amenities, or you'll have like a pool. But then you're saving money on that, you know, like especially if you won't use the amenities, you have a gorgeous downtown. And Antigua is also a community. She's also, well, we as a team, but she's like the realtor who have sold a home in as well. So if you want to live in Antigua, we know a lot about Antigua. And nice looking home, open layout. I like that extra cabinet counter space over. That's always a huge one when they can kind of give you that extra wall there. Yeah, I mean, nice home,
and this is kind of like what you can expect in a lot of Wellen Park. I mean, the design and the touches and the styles are gonna be different, but you know, new-ish to brand new homes.
Yes.
You know, you're talking, I mean, the oldest homes were probably like, what, 15
years?
Ish, maybe 20 in certain communities, but most of them you're talking 10 years or less, or again, new construction opportunities. And you got a backyard retention pond. And then they're showing like Cool Today Park and the downtown here too. So that gives you a little sense for that. We love downtown Wellen Park. And it's starting to become like a hot spot now. Like a lot of people are going to hang out. There's cool events all the time for like Oktoberfest.
And it almost seems like it doesn't matter what time we go to downtown Wellen Park. There's always either something going on, or there's always like a lot of people in the restaurants or just walking around the beautiful lake that they have there as well.
And your HOA fee in Antigua specifically, again, different communities in Wellen Park are going to be varied, but this one is $294 a month. Okay, we'll do one more just to show you like another like planned community. So there's a lot of like established planned communities sprinkled through all of Venice. We can't really say, oh, they're all in South area or North, because they're kind of scattered about. But there's a lot of those that are not like in Wellen Park or the North Venice area to consider as well. So here is one. I believe this is in Plantation. It looked like it from the map. Let's just double check. Oh, Lakes of Jacaranda. Okay, so it's right by Plantation. And it's a 3-2, 1,700 square feet. So on the small-ish end for some of the other homes, $499,000. And a lot of the planned communities, the homes you're talking about 1990 or newer, I'd say, for the most part. A lot, I'd say, are 2000s or newer. Get a little bit of front yard there. Ooh, it's a pretty
nice
tall
house,
ceilings. Yeah, an open living room. And this seems about right for the price, you know, for that area and being a planned community. And I think that's the great part about Venice, though, too. Like a lot of these planned communities are going to be really close to those shopping centers. You're, like we said, just about everything. They're 15-minute drive to the beach tops. This one, I'd say, is probably towards the top end of that.
And then you also have access to downtown Wellen Park and downtown Venice as well.
Yeah, this one would put you. Yeah, this one would put you really close to downtown Wellen Park in that case. And your HOA here is going to be $73 a month. So if you want a nice low HOA, there you go. That's a good opportunity right there.
Yes, and obviously at that rate, it does not have any amenities. But again, you do have Wellen Park downtown. You wouldn't be able to use, you know, any of the amenities in the other planned communities, but you can use the downtown. Yeah,
so that's an awesome thing that, you know, Wellen Park has gifted all of us. You know, you got your amenities within each community, but they gave the downtown for everyone. So awesome to have that. And we should also mention that's in phase 1 right now. And or I should say phase 1 just finished recently, and phase 2 is starting to get going. So there's going to be a lot more shopping, restaurants, things like that coming. It's super exciting. It's already got quite a bit to do, and they're like, again, having quite a bit of events that gives us even more to do. But once all that other stuff comes, I think it's going to be like just as cool as downtown Venice. I think right now it's almost close already.
Yes, definitely. Again, if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Venice, Sarasota areas, make sure to call, text, or email our real estate team, 941-221-1897. We've helped a lot of people move to the area. We'd love to help you too. And that is a great way to support the channel if you're finding the videos helpful. Another way to support the channel is to hit that like button. Thanks for watching, and live breezy.